Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video. So I know that my title looks a little clickbaity, but it's really not. This is probably the second craziest story that I have, and I am holding on to my craziest story for a while until this channel grows so that more people can hear this. But this is unbelievable, and I promise all of it's true. I only have screenshots of like literally the final conversation that we have. The rest of them I've deleted. I won't post pictures of this person because I don't know whether they are a boy or a girl anymore at this point. I don't understand. I don't know. I do want to put a disclaimer in that I was in a very, very bad place in my life, and this comes along with who I was surrounded by, because I was living in just like such a awful situation with such a really toxic person that is no longer a part of my life, thank goodness. And since ending that friendship and this relationship that I'm about to tell you about, my life has gone a lot better. So as the title says, I was engaged prior to this, and my mom didn't know until now, and she watches all of my videos, so I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't tell you because I knew it wasn't gonna work out. There were red flags right from the beginning, and I do want to tell you guys, like, if you have a gut feeling, you know something's not right, like, you need to follow that. I was so blinded by the fact that, like, I needed somebody to give a shit about me, or to care about me, or to love me, because it was all I ever wanted, like, and it was just, I let somebody take advantage of me, and I think we've all been there, and if you haven't been there, please keep your eyes open so you're not put in this position. But yeah, we're gonna get into the video. So, from my first story time about a woman that I dated, we met on the same website, Meet Me, which was just a bad idea in general. Stay off that website. Just don't go on it. It's a bad idea. Everyone I met on there is crazy. Crazy! Okay, so we met on this website called Meet Me, and we started talking. I still can't figure out if I'm gonna say their name in this video or not, because this person doesn't even go by their real name. All of their social networks are under their fake name, which is like their trans name, because this person was a girl that dressed like a male, but is still a female. What is not transitioning, just went by a masculine name. And yeah, so that's confusing in itself, but that's the context of the person. So we met on there, and we only talked a little bit before I was just like, hey, I don't remember if I said text me or I'm on Snapchat. I think it was texting. So we started talking and quickly like began getting on phone calls. We would spend hours and hours and hours on the phone just talking about like anything and everything, getting to know each other. We really clicked. Like, this person was a master manipulator. Like, they were so good at telling you anything you wanted to hear to make you feel good. And my first red flag should have been when within like 3 days of knowing me, this girl told me that she loved me. And after spending hours and hours on the phone with somebody, when like I was trapped in this horrible situation with a person that was just like so mean to me all the time and just like made me feel like shit in comparison to them, who was just like the fucking queen of the universe or whatever. So this female that I was on the phone with all the time, that I had feelings for, I had just gotten my girlfriend before me had just like cheated on me, and I was over that because she was still my best friend, but like it was still hard coming. So I was just like really lonely. And after 3 days of being on the phone all the time, she was just like, I think I'm falling in love with you. And I was just like, me too. Like, I think I'm falling in love with you too. Dumb. I know, Mom, I'm fucking dumb. Like, you don't need to tell me. I don't need a phone call after you watch this video, because no. So we started dating, and we weren't on like each other's social media. I guess we weren't on each other's. She was on mine, but she wouldn't post anything about me or say that we were together or anything. For, I don't even know how long we were together. I want to say it was like 5 or 6 months, but it was all like a giant secret relationship. So the lines are so blurred because I don't know when anything started or when anything ended. I just have these screenshots of the end of it and all these memories in between. So I just remember that like she was in a really bad situation, and she had told me that her dad died when she was young, and that her mom disowned her for being gay or whatever. So she lived with her grandma's boyfriend who was married to somebody else. So like his wife was like senile and needed taking care of, and his grandma, her grandma would come over and help the boyfriend take care of his wife. I don't know. Either way, she lived there and didn't have a lot of money because she worked at like a gas station, and any free money that she did have, like she spent it on illegal substances, which is like red flag number 2. Morgan, you need to be smarter. But like, of course, me being who I am, I was like, oh, I can help you. I can make you, I can help you realize you don't have to do this. Like things will get better. Like whatever. So I tried. So she didn't have a lot of money. So she would ask for things like, you know, if she didn't have any clothes, she would ask. So like, it came like I would buy her clothes, and then some nights she wouldn't have food to eat, so I would order her food for dinner, and it started slowly and then sped up really quickly. So she started asking for more and more and more and more every day. So then it got to a point where she was like, well, my phone's broken and it barely works. She would disappear for like days, right? And she's like, oh, my phone is broken, blah, 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 it's not working, blah, blah, blah. If you don't buy me a new phone, we won't be able to talk to each other, blah, 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 blah. So I bought her a new phone so we could talk to each other. Really, I'm telling you, I'm dumb. I know I'm dumb. This was a very bad decision on my part. All of these things that I'm going to tell you are stupid. I was dumb. I'm not this person anymore. But I was being manipulated and I was in a bad situation. I'll say it over and over until my face is blue. But anyway, bought her a phone. And what do you need with the phone? Well, obviously you need the fucking Apple Watch. So then eventually she got a fucking Apple Watch. And I was just so blinded by everything. And so at the end of it, not at the end of it, about towards the time where things started going downhill, or what I thought was uphill, but then was immediately back downhill, I feel like I had bought her a brand new wardrobe, and I bought her dinner every fucking night, and I was working 3 jobs, killing myself, living in like a camper, and living off the bare minimum for myself so I could provide for her. And I loved her, so I was willing to do that. So we reached a point in our relationship where like at night she would like fall asleep, where actually she would just block my phone number and she would go out. So I come to find out after our relationship was over, one of her friends told me that she would block my phone number and that she would go out with other girls and that she would always be on FaceTime with other girls and like all this stuff. My birthday rolls around and I'm pretty used to this disappearing thing, right? But I'm like begging her like, hey, it's my birthday, like no matter what you do, like please charge your phone, please don't block my number, like please, like you're not even gonna be in town for my birthday. Right, because she lived like 2 hours away. So I was like, you're not even gonna be here, like the least, just do me a favor, I don't want anything for my birthday, just be by your phone, like just talk to me on my birthday. That's all I want, just talk to me. Okay, like it's not too big of a deal. It was my 21st birthday and I worked at a summer camp, so I worked all day and she talked to me up until like 3 o'clock and then she was just gone. Like she just blocked me and she was gone. Again, after the fact, I got the confirmation of what I thought what was happening, and we'll explain that a little further as we get further down into the story. But she went to a concert with her friends, and that's why she doesn't answer her phone. She blocked my phone number. But that's why she wasn't answering, because she was at a concert with her friends and her cousin, right? So I can't be mad about that. You were out with your family. Great. Great way to cover up a fucking lie. Eventually she comes down maybe like a month later, and I worked at like a summer camp, so she just came in to like volunteer. So she was helping me like in my room and like with the kids and stuff. It was all good. We leave and we're getting ready to head back. So I lived about an hour away from where I worked at the time. And so we were driving through and we were passing through the town in between the two. And she stopped at Walmart. And she went inside and she was like, just stay in the car, I'll be right back. And she walked back out with like tie-dye flowers. And if you know anything about me, like I love tie-dye. Like I really love tie-dye. And she came back out with tie-dye flowers and like proposed to me in the Walmart parking lot with a ring that she had just bought inside of Walmart. And I'm not the superficial girl that's like, oh, you need to spend money, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care. Really, I don't. So the Walmart ring thing didn't bother me. It kind of bothered me that she like just left me in the car so she can go inside and buy it and then come back in, but whatever. So I said yes because I'm dumb. I have no other excuses, okay? But I loved this girl and I thought things were gonna get better because she was just like, things are getting better, like we're gonna do okay, like everything's gonna be okay. I promise. Great. So I said yes, and the reason none of my family knows about this is because I didn't think it was gonna work out. I really didn't believe in any of it. I said yes, and we're driving back, right? We're driving back to my house, still a good 30-ish minutes away. And we're approaching a stoplight, and we're passing in front of what was like my best friend's house, and the cop was just sitting in there. We didn't see him, but we weren't speeding. We were going 45, and we were speeding by 5 points, but they charged her on a super speeder. But they pulled us over, and when they pulled us over, she had an outstanding warrant that apparently she didn't know about. According to her, she never knew. She knew she got in trouble, but she had never gotten a letter for court. And her grandma said that she had gotten the letter and that she threw it away, meaning her grandmother threw it away, not her. So she was never informed. She never showed up to court, which is an automatic bench warrant. We were in South Carolina, but the warrant was in Georgia. Actually, where I currently live, the warrant was for, which is quite strange, but whatever. So since we were so close to the South Carolina-Georgia border, because we were within like a 10-mile range of Georgia, that they had to take her in. So they took her and they left me on the side of the road. Thankfully, I had some friends like come and help me because I was freaking out. So we got engaged, and 20 minutes later, she got arrested.
Damn!
So she goes to jail. She's taken to the county jail for the county that we're in South Carolina, and then is transported to Georgia. So at this point, I didn't have a car because my car had like broken down. Her car was parked at my house. I had her phone, her wallet, everything. She left it with me because she didn't know my phone number. So when she got to jail, she could just call her phone. And here's where the birthday comes back into play, right? So I get her phone and I don't have a password or anything. I can't go on it. All I can see is her lock screen, but her lock screen is a picture from the concert. And her cousin is sitting on her lap and she's like kissing her on the cheek. Like, that's your cousin? Because I'm sorry. I know I'm from South Carolina, but we don't kiss our cousins. No ma'am. So I do come to find out this is just another one of the girls that she was talking to. It's not like, oh, well, I kiss my cousin on my cheek. If you kiss your cousin on your cheek, okay, good for you. But like, not me. No. Shout out to my cousins. Whoa.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So the whole time she's in prison, I'm daily putting money on her phone so she can make phone calls. And I think that all the money's running out so quickly because she calls me a lot. I don't want to say a lot. It's like twice a day, maybe, if she gets the chance, maybe. And then she's calling her grandma. So in the meantime, I'm calling lawyers, I'm talking to people, you know, I don't have the money for a lawyer because I've spent all my money on her already. So I'm talking to her public defender, and I'm dealing with her grandmother, who had no idea that we were even dating, because of course we were a secret. So she gets arrested and I have to reach out to her grandmother. The only person that knows me is her best friend. And so I have to talk to her best friend and get in contact with her grandma, who has no idea who I am, which is just so confusing. So then the court date rolls around for the day that she's supposed to be released. And so she has to go to court. And so her grandma and her grandma's like boyfriend thing or whatever, the man that she lived with, come to my house, which is 2 hours from them, and they pick me up and we drive another hour to Georgia. So we sit in the courtroom, we get her out of jail, or well, she's getting released, right? So then we go to the county jail, and then we pick her up, we take her back, and they take us back to my house. And so the plan was, when she got out of jail, she was like, you know, the whole time she was in jail, she was like, I love you so much, you're so amazing, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, I'm so sorry this is happening, thank you for sticking by my side. She had to have been in jail for a month, maybe less, but probably a good month. She gets out of jail, she wants to live with me. And I'm like, okay, my roommate's not on board for this, but like, again, I didn't think that it was gonna stick. So I figured like she was gonna move in and then she was gonna end up leaving, right? Because at this point I had like no faith in the relationship because of the whole, I had a strong feeling she was cheating on me the whole time, but I was just like, whatever, I do care about this person. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being crazy because I have anxiety. So maybe that's my anxiety just like working in my head, right? So she gets out and she comes to live with me. And then, you know, like a week and a half, she's like, I miss my family. I want to go home, blah, 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 just being a little bitch. And so she decides to go home, and that's fine. So she has to call her probation office because her address is my address on her probation forms. And she has to be like, well, the girl that I was with, because she told all of them I was her wife. So she was just like, my wife and I are separating and I'm not going to be living with her and I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. I come to find out also another way. After she got out of prison, we went to my best friend's house, and she like slightly, she alluded to my best friend that she had like a girl that she was like fucking in prison. So she had like a prison girlfriend who was still cheating on her there when she was like calling me like, I love you, I miss you, blah, 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 whatever. Oh, so she gets out of prison and she moves back to Charleston. Yeah, whatever, I'll tell you where she lived. So she moves back to Charleston, and we break up at some point. I don't even know when it happened, because she didn't want me to tell my friends, because she still wanted to be with me, she just needed a break. So she wanted to be with me, she didn't want people to know we broke up, but she wanted to be able to go do whatever she wanted. So I wasn't allowed to tell my friends that we were no longer engaged. So I had to keep wearing this stupid ring and pretending like we were dating when we weren't dating anymore. Well, a couple weeks go by and I'm at my friend's house in downtown Savannah, and we had been out drinking, like having fun. Like at this point I'm single in my head, and the friend I was with just like didn't care about that girl and my relationship in the first place because she didn't believe that it was gonna work out. None of us believed it was gonna work out, but it's fine. We had gotten home and we were just sitting on the porch looking down at the city at night, smoking a cigarette, hanging out, and she calls me and she's like, hey, like she's obviously fucked up. I don't know what she was doing, but she was just obviously intoxicated on some level. She's like, I love you, I really want to marry you, I know that we're on a break, but we're gonna get married on New Year's. And I was like, okay. And so at that point I didn't believe any of it anyway. So 2 days later, again, I'm at my other friend's house, because beyond everything that's happening with her at that point, my life is exploding in a whole nother way, which we will get to, I promise. That's the crazy story that I'm saving for everyone, but my life was just imploding before my eyes. So I wake up one morning to a text message, and I'm sorry, I'm going to look down to read this to you word for word. I'll put screenshots of the messages in here, and I guess I'll blur out their faces to be nice, even though I would so love to expose them and love everyone to just go see what a horrible person she is. I will not do that because I'm better than that, and I don't want revenge because I'm happy now, but this is just beyond me. So 3 days earlier, we're like getting married on New Year's, but 3 days later, I get a text message, 2 pictures. One picture is of another girl, little blonde girl. She didn't say little, she was thick. She was smaller than me, but like still pretty big. And then one of them 2 together. So the text message reads as follows, and I promise I'm not embellishing. So you'll see. It says, jealous, my wife hot AF. And my aunt paid off my probation, so I'm not on it anymore. Just a side note, you can't just like pay off probation and be done. You still have to serve time. Even if you pay it off, you still have to serve some time doing community service and whatnot. So whatever. Okay, lie number 1. So we're moving to Washington. How you feel? You can't move to Washington. You're still on probation. You're not allowed to leave the county. But okay. I don't need that car, by the way, either. Me and Kenzie's family bought us matching BMWs for our wedding gift. She had been begging me to buy her a car, and I told her I would do it. But I knew that things were about to explode, so I was lying. The first time in that relationship, I was lying, because I was not buying her a car. Not at all. Never. Actually, she thought I had the car at the time, and I told her I was just gonna give it to her. I never bought her a freaking car. I bought you so much stuff. I was done, and I was not that stupid. Either way, matching BMWs. She doesn't have a BMW to this day, and she's also not married to this day, but going on. And now I have a stepson in the family I wanted. I don't need you, never wanted you. Jokes on, just used you. Joke's on you. Have a nice life. Wow. You didn't think I would have realized that by now. So I had definitely like realized it at this point, and like that's when she called me, we're getting married this time, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like I was going out, I was meeting girls at bars, I was still in my crazy like, you know, single phase. So I was being single at that point. I wasn't staying faithful to the relationship. I was single. I was done. And my reply was, yeah, I get it. You used me. Leave me alone, dude. I don't fucking care. Have fun in Washington. Stop texting my phone. I'm not jealous of shit. I want nothing to do with you. Have a great life. And from here, it sounds like that's the end of the story, right? But it's not. I wish it was. After that, I don't have the text messages because I switched phones, so those were just the screenshots that I have. But she continued like messaging me and harassing me after that, trying to get me to be sad. And I was never sad the relationship ended. I really just one day switched it off and was like, don't ever contact me again. So she kept blowing up my phone until I blocked her. And my best friend actually had to step in and be like, stop messaging Morgan, leave her alone. So then she proceeded to try to lie to my best friend and be like, oh, I'm not doing anything, blah, 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 that's not me. And she was just basically like, bullshit, I have screenshots of everything you're saying to her. Never contact her again or I'm going to call the police. So the only like contact that I have seemed to have got from her since then was a text message one day, probably a couple months back, where she texted me off another number looking for another girl. And it was just like, hey, is it's blah, blah, blah there. And I was just like, when you can't keep your side host phone number straight, like I don't. Before I switched to my new phone number too, so I guess it's been a hot minute since she texted me. But either way, I guess the moral of the story is that like, just you need to be smarter than me, hell, because that was probably one of the dumbest things I've ever done. Yeah. Don't trust people until you really get to know them. Not everyone out there is bad, but you do need to like watch your back for people that are, because not everybody has your best interest at heart. And yeah, y'all be careful out there. If If y'all like this video, make sure to like and leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you guys want to hear about what was going on in the rest of my life at that time as it was exploding. If you're ready for that story time, if you're excited for it, let me know. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that down below and let me know in the comment section that you subscribed. I'll be back with new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!